Hey everybody, this is Matt and we're at Texas Toast Guitars, and just like I told you last night, we have someone very, very special in the shop, and that is to my right, your left, my super good friend, Mike Learn from Learn Airbrush, Learn Studios, Learn Guitars, Learn Lawn Mowing, Learn everything. And Mike, thanks for coming down. Hey. I know it's a really long ways away. That's Mike's phone, not yours. Where was I? I forgot. Okay, anyway. So Mike Learn is in the studio. How long did it take you to get down here?
I think it was like 20 minutes, if that.
Okay, yeah. That's cool. Guys, if you don't know who Mike Learn is, he doesn't need any introduction from me, but let me give you a couple of quick. I'm gonna plug Mike a little bit because honestly, I don't know why Mike puts up with me, because I have no business hanging out with Mike. Mike is way cooler than I am, but I have beer in the fridge. So, Mike, you have done. Give us a couple examples of what some of the things that you have done that people need to know about.
I think probably the most infamous or famous art that I've done was probably the Megadeth album cover. I mean, a lot of people.
Which album was that?
That was The System Has Failed.
Okay.
2004.
Cool.
That was when he was with Sanctuary Records at that time, and when he went to Roadrunner, they had told me that I should just consider it a privilege that I was working for Megadeth and that I shouldn't be really charging to do the album art anymore. And I was kind of like, no,
yeah,
I can't do that. I don't feed my family on pats on the back.
Well, that's something you've been a professional artist for pretty much your whole life.
My entire life.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you've done work for a bunch of guitar companies.
Yes. Yeah.
Jackson, Charvel, BC Rich,
Hamer.
Mm-hmm. But what about the thing that you do every summer that we're not in the middle of a global pandemic for D'Angelico?
Yeah, usually every summer, the Grateful Dead, or what they're known as now as Dead and Company because of legals, Dead and Company will go out on tour, and I do sometimes 10 to 20 guitars for Bob Weir.
I know because I've been there, I've seen them, and I'm like, holy crap, there's so much stuff. And they're all the same, and they're all different.
Right. They're very similar, but they have an art staff that works with the Grateful Dead's art staff, and what they do is they come up with a very unique guitar for each location that they're playing, and then they use the guitar live.
Okay.
And then everybody in the band autographs it, and then they auction it off. I mean,
do they ever raffle it off?
No, they don't. They're usually auctioned, unfortunately, but the one went for $560,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hippies with a lot of money.
Of dough, man. That was I couldn't believe that. So if we averaged it out to $200,000 per guitar, at one point in time we had close to $2 million in guitars in our shop.
That's cool. You know, it's neat how the money goes up as soon as someone touches the guitar or the whatever it is.
Yeah.
So,
Speaking
of people who touch guitars, you've done artwork for Def Leppard. I'm looking at the thing over there. I'm looking at the board. So
God, I'm gonna have to look at it too. Probably Phil Collins. Probably, you know, one of the most famous rockers that I've been fortunate enough to do work for. Scott Ian from Anthrax.
Oh yeah.
Steve Brown. Jeff Loomis is one of the newer guys who are in the Total Metal shredder scene that I've been doing work for. He's a very good guy, good friend. You know, Parker Lundgren from Queensryche, John Levin from Dokken,
cool.
Zoltan Bathory, Five Finger Death Punch. You know,
our mutual friend Jim Fuller knows those dudes.
They're Vegas boys. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, and here's a little bit more. I got one more. What about all the motorcycle stuff that you've done? You've been on the cover of Easy Rider a bunch, and you've done stuff for actors and famous motorcycle dudes. And how's that work?
Yeah, you know, it's kind of funny how my career has evolved. I mean, in the late 80s, early 90s to the mid 2000s, I was pretty much painting motorcycles for some of the biggest builders, you know, in the country. And we've been blessed with covers.
And
of
you
all
know,
magazines.
you know all those dudes. You hobnob with Dan Perowitz and
Perowitz,
yeah. So you
Jesse
know all
James,
those guys.
Yeah.
They're your idols. They're Mike's friends. So yeah.
Well, I'm very fortunate that they've been great to work with. They treated me with a lot of respect, especially after we won the Easy Rider and a Big Twin Painter of the Year award.
Wow.
And so that's like as big of as an award as I can get as an artist. I mean, I'm flattered to have it. And
Yeah.
it's very cool that we
See,
have that.
like I said, I don't know why Mike hangs out with me. And I don't have a lot of beer in the fridge either. So Mike came down to the shop today. We're going to talk a little bit about, do we have any questions coming in, Chris? Okay. So guys, what we're going to do today for the next little bit is we're going to talk about what you got going on.
Yep.
What you and I have going on together, a joint venture. And we're going to talk, we're going to answer your questions. So if you've got any paint questions or guitar building questions, or if you want to, you can't quite get all 4 of your carburetors to sync up on your 1969 CB750, leave us some comments or questions, and Mike will answer all those.
Try to help you with
Yes, we'll try to help you out as best you can. So the first thing that we want to talk about is you guys are making a huge push on YouTube.
Yes.
And where are you guys going? Where is Mike Learn Studios? Where you guys want to go with the YouTube page?
Well, I think
you've had YouTube for a while.
Yeah.
It's just you're like, all right, we're gonna really kick it in the ass.
Well, for me, the YouTube was something I always felt we had our hands in so many other different things.
And you do, yeah.
YouTube was like, I wasn't really giving it as much of an opportunity as I should have. Prior to this effort that my wife and I are putting into it,
I know she's putting in a ton of work.
And we appreciate all your input on all this stuff too.
Who? Your wife?
No, yours.
Oh, mine.
Yeah. But so now YouTube, I mean, presently it was just housing my band Lords of Distortion's live videos and album cuts and studio releases. So now we've got all the videos. Like 20 years ago, I used to have an archive of CD-ROM instructions, and we're going to basically download those and make them accessible on YouTube, as well as just, quite honestly, I'm sick of Facebook.
Yeah.
I really am
I think
just so
everyone's
sick of
getting
it.
tired of
Yeah, it's
Facebook.
so old.
Yeah.
So YouTube is a place where you're going to get the erratic, stupid comments periodically. It's inevitable, right? But anyways, I think it's going to give us an opportunity to have a fresh approach to marketing what I do as an artist, as a musician, as a guitar builder, and other aspects of my life that I enjoy doing with my cartoon art and stuff. So.
Oh yeah, like with the thinking out loud.
Yeah, thinking out loud.
Yeah. There's no G.
Right.
So
thinking.
So wouldn't it be cool if you could do live stuff on YouTube?
Yes.
That's where you come in.
Yes.
Mike and I would like to challenge everybody on my page to go over to Mike. So go to YouTube. In the search thing, with the little magnifying glass, type in Mike Learn Studios, and Mike Learn's YouTube page is going to pop up. What you need to do is go and click the subscribe button, click the bell icon, do all that stuff that you have to do for to get notifications that Mike's got a new video coming out. And for the rest of the holiday weekend, if you guys do that enough times, Mike's going to get to 1,000 subscribers. Once you get there, you can start doing live stuff. So right now you've got tons and tons and tons of archival footage that you can go watch, and you can watch Mike kind of do his thing from like great big blank canvases to complete works of art. And after this weekend, you guys, we challenge you guys to get Mike over 1,000 subs, so he can start doing live videos, and that's going to be where it's at, because then you can just do like, hey, we're doing a live video, and you get to watch and you get to interact with Mike Learn and see all the cool stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
So
and there's quite a bit of stuff we have, Matt, from like the last 20 years of stuff.
I've seen.
You'll
a lot
see me
of it.
when I was a lot less gray. But yeah, we're looking forward to doing that, and we appreciate anybody taking the time to hit the subscribe button.
It's easy and free.
That's right, for now, right?
We got any questions yet, Chris?
Yeah, we have one question.
Okay.
KC Electrics wants to know.
Hey, I like that guy. He's cool.
Do you pinstripe then clear coat, or generally just pinstripe on top of the clear coat?
Funny you should ask.
Yes, it is. The class that we're going to be teaching, I will go through that whole process. But generally, I find that people like the final product when it's cleared over top of the pinstriping. And you obviously have to be careful with certain products, enamels, for example, which is probably going to produce, I think, the best pinstriping results. Urethane striping, urethane has a tendency to dry and doesn't give you quite as smooth lines. But having said that, you're a little bit safer clearing over top of it with a urethane clear or a polyester
So
clear.
Casey is asking specifically on guitars, or because like what if you had like an old truck and you wouldn't clear over that, right?
No, like on a hot rod and like go to car shows and stuff like that.
The old school is pinstripes
Right
just on top,
and that's
right?
why we use the one shot or the alpha enamel.
Okay.
It's designed and formulated for that type of application.
So that's a great question because yeah, different applications, maybe different
Right.
materials.
Yes. And if you know that you're going to clear, like say, like for example, if I was at a car show and I know that the guy wanted to clear over top of the artwork, I would scuff the surface down prior to doing the artwork with the brush on there. And then he can take it back, take it to an auto painter, have it cleared. And generally the rule of thumb is to allow a 24-hour period after application of the enamel striping material before you put a urethane top coat on it.
We noticed that because it's dry, but it's not really cured.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. And you have to dust your first couple coats of clear on just to
Yeah.
kind of be careful because the solvents, if you're running a really solvent-rich clear,
Okay.
the solvents can cause some issues
Get some
with
popping,
popping
and
start
locking.
wrinkling them up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a great segue, I think, into another thing that you and I are putting on September 10th. That's less than a week away.
Right.
And that is pinstriping, hot rod pinstriping and gold leafing with Mike Learn live from Texas Toast Guitars.
Yep.
And we actually have one of the guitars that you are going to be doing some pinstriping work on. This is, we call this model, this is my favorite, the prostitute. So
Sweet.
So Mike's going to use this is going to be one of the things that Mike has as a canvas to work on. If you want to be a part of this live class, there's a paywall for it. It's not free, but you can sign. It's not expensive either. I think
Right.
it's $19.99, and the class is hour and a half, 2 hours, something
Yeah,
like that.
probably about that.
And the cool thing is you can actually interact with Mike, and you can ask Mike questions. You can have us manipulate the camera and move it around. You can go, hey Mike, what's that thing you're using? What's that style of brush you have? Who cuts your hair? Stuff like that. And we're gonna work on this guitar. We've got a couple other ones that we're gonna do. So what exactly are we gonna do?
We're going to basically set this up like you've never experienced seeing somebody do this. I'm going to give you a breakdown on the materials, types of brushes, and really I just want to encourage people who feel like they would have some interest in it or, want to try it. I'm going to give them the information they need. I'll provide contact sources for the materials, the brushes.
Oh, cool.
So they can purchase and stuff. And I'll get you started with a bit of information that we can provide in that short period of time.
Do you remember that live thing that we did last winter where you did the Warbird paint job?
Yeah.
Our good friend and your good friend Brian Nutter actually watched that and he's like, man, this is great. And he sent me some pictures. He was actually doing it. So Mike has a teaching style that it makes it easy and fun, and you can jump right in for not a lot of money.
Yeah.
You can kind of get started, and you're gonna give people kind of a jump ahead and a few steps forward in the learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Mike's done this for us numerous times, like getting us to use particular paints and sealers and things, and he's like, why are you still using that? And Chris and I go, we don't know what should we be using, and Mike tells us, and then 2 or 3 years later we actually switch and go, that was a good idea, we should have done that. So yeah, well that kind of happens.
Only one time did that happen.
Yeah, we're still waiting on some of the other ones.
I carry a little more clout these days.
You've got a lot of juice.
The
yeah.
impact to expedite 2 years is now.
It's down. It's months now, not years. Yeah. There any other questions, Chris?
Doug Santinello
Hey, Doug.
chimed in that he has never had a steady hand, so he's really glad that he has a Texas Toast guitar with some of Mike's
Mike
work.
Learn. Yeah, he
And
bought
maybe
the
should do
Speedo
another one.
Burrito.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Maybe he should.
I got to tell you, man, I've known people that they look like they have Parkinson's syndrome.
Yeah.
Their hands will be shaking like this, and as soon as that brush touches the surface, it's like boom.
Like
solid
an
as a
extra
rock.
index point or something. How weird.
It is the craziest thing. There was a striper. His name was Shaky Jake, and yeah, and this guy was like whap, and it was like he was a machine.
Put up. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and so I mean, I can't even drink too much coffee, but if you are a little bit on the caffeine saturation, you might have some issues. It's all in your head. I'm going to just say this. I'm going to emphasize this at the class. It's a frame of mind, and you're going to work your time with the brush. A guy named Tom Schmidt back in Arizona, who was an old-time striper back in the day, he taught me that you need to pull on approximately a mile of straight lines before you really feel confident about it.
Before you should take money and start doing someone's truck. Okay.
So I went and bought a piece of acrylic.
Okay.
And I mapped it out with a piece of tape every half an inch.
Okay.
4 foot, 8 foot long. And I calculated how many times I'd have to go down that
Did
SOB.
you really?
I did, dude.
Wow.
And I don't think I got the full mile in.
On one
But he
sheet.
was pretty impressed, I think, after I showed him 3 separate sheets. And so he started taking me under his wing and showing me a little bit of stuff. Another guy named Ron Hernandez helped me out with a lot of stuff. But they were right about it. It was all in your head. As soon as you crossed a certain threshold of your own imagination and the frustrations that you have, as soon as it clicks, it's over with.
You get it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
And then you could be as shaky as you want, and it's gonna change the game. But I guarantee you, anybody who takes the time to spend the $20, $19.95 on a class, is gonna feel comfortable enough to get a brush, get a can of paint that you can probably get at Hobby Lobby these days.
Okay. I know you can. Uh-oh, our air compressor kicked on. Chris is on the case.
He's on it, man.
So how much do you suppose it would cost someone to, like, what's the, like, bare bones, I'm going to start pinstriping stuff, what's the cost layout after the $19.99 for the class?
I'm going to say you're probably going to spend $15 for a pint of one shot or alpha enamel paint.
Okay.
Probably $8 to $10 for a Mac dagger brush, striping brush.
So for under $50, that includes the price of the class, by the way.
Oh yeah.
You could like be doing pinstripes on your lawnmower or whatever and trying stuff out.
You could be lettering just about anything you want. In fact, the drummer from Poison, Ricky Rocket, he's an amazing pinstriper. He learned from a guy named Bob, my Uncle Bob. And he was actually going around on tour painting toilet seats in the hotels that they stayed in. So I remember Ricky posted some of the stuff that he was doing. But yeah.
That was probably pre Facebook and YouTube.
So it was probably right about the time when they started to become popular, because I do think I've seen Ricky's post on.
That's funny.
Yeah, and I mean nowadays they have more time probably backstage than they did in the 80s, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
But, yeah. No.
Anything else, Chris?
Yeah, so the name of your current YouTube page is just Mike Learn.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
But if you search Mike Learn Studios and then click on one of the videos that looks like Mike, then you can access the Mike Learn.
There's very few people named Mike Learn who look like this guy.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it's easy to find.
But in the videos, I look like a leprechaun more than I look like an old ZZ Top roadie.
You do.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You sometimes even have the pipe.
Yes.
Oh no, you have the airbrush that is but it's like the pipe, but it's the air. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was offered the opportunity to become a mascot for Notre Dame at one point in time because I look so much like their Fighting Irish guy.
So yeah, again, everybody watching, we challenge you to go to Mike Learn's YouTube page and subscribe and become a subscriber and click the bell icon and notification thing. We want to get Mike over 1,000 subscribers by the end of the weekend, and it's an extended weekend. So you got a little bit of time to do this, because then they can start doing live videos. And I don't know if you guys know this, but YouTube has a couple things that, like, the little steps, hurdles that you have to jump over. And in order to do live videos, one of the hurdles is you have to have 1,000 subscribers and a certain number of hours watched. So watch some videos, subscribe to Mike Learn's YouTube page, and in no time, we're gonna be able to see Mike doing stuff live and adding a bunch of new content in addition to a huge back catalog of stuff that you've
Huge.
already done.
Thousands of hours.
And I know that your wife's working pretty much all the time to get it all up there. So it might be a little overwhelming. There's so much of it.
There is.
I don't even know how many videos there are up now, but it's a lot.
There's an awful lot. I mean, there's stuff that wasn't professionally done that we had basically kind of homespun there.
That's
I mean,
okay. Deep
there's
dive,
hundreds
people.
of them.
Deep
yeah.
dive. Yeah.
Hundreds of them. But it's certainly going to be entertaining. I don't necessarily think I was any more entertaining at 35 years of age as I am as 55. But
I know you're really funny at 55.
Yeah.
That's all I know. So anything else real quick?
Remind everybody again when the Texas Toast Mike Learn class is.
Okay, the official Texas Toast Hot Rod Pinstriping and Gold Leafing with Mike Learn is September 10th at 5 o'clock Mountain Time.
That's Thursday.
That's Thursday. You can sign up at TexasToastGuitars.com under the classes thing. There's a little thing that even says Mike Learn. It's got your name, so it's easy to find. And after we post this video, I'll actually leave a link in the video so you guys can see it. So yeah, it's really going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. We have been wanting to get you in here to the shop to do some classes, and a lot of people have been clamoring to get, hey, can you do a paint class with Mike Learn? Working on it.
Yeah.
Working on it. So
Yeah, it's something that I think will inevitably happen.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the stuff that I was doing with an organization called Airbrush Art Circus has been kind of put on hold with a lot of
That's a
the
bummer,
COVID
yeah.
stuff, but I'm sure we'll be able to make something happen down here at some point in time.
we have a space.
Yeah.
We have a spray booth. We can do it.
Yep.
What else, Chris?
Lots of people saying that they've subscribed
Good.
to your page.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
It's
guys.
really easy to find. There's some young guy impersonating you on YouTube.
Yeah, I know that guy. That son of a bitch.
We're bound to see some more of that guy too.
Yeah. What else? Yeah, just yeah. Oh, I will say that the live classes are always really fun.
Yeah.
And it's well worth it. And watching Mike paint and do things
It's mesmerizing.
it really is. It's super fun. And the neat thing is you can watch it over and over and over
Yeah.
again.
Once
if
you have the
want to.
code,
Correct.
that's a great point,
And
Chris.
you can stop it and
Yeah, once you have the code, you can watch as many times as you want. So.
Yeah, and then a lot of the stuff that you see that we're going to be going through this class and stuff like that, when you get the fundamentals down, there's going to be anything you could stripe. You could stripe your mailbox. I mean, your guitar might be the last thing
And
you
you
want to
will.
touch. Yeah, you will. Your toilet seat, for example. Millions of things, mirrors. There's a lot of things that you can just enjoy putting touches on. People restore license plates. Some people make pretty good money just restoring old license plates.
All
yeah,
right.
little things like that. A lot
Go
of ways to make
figure.
money.
Yeah. So there's one other bonus for subscribing and clicking the bell icon, and that is that later tonight or early tomorrow, you might get to see my ugly face on Mike's talk show on YouTube called Between Two Skulls.
Right.
I have no idea what it's going to be about.
Me neither.
But I think it's going to be, Mike's like, it'll only take 5 minutes. And I'm like, Mike, you know how it is with me. When I start talking, it doesn't take 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So who knows what it'll be. But you've got some questions for me.
Yeah, we got some questions.
Okay, and there's some doozies.
Yes.
Maybe. I don't
Yes.
know. Well, you got anything else?
No, thanks for taking the time to look us up on YouTube. Thank you for having me down here again today.
I always love it when you come down, and this is the first time that your wife came down.
Yeah, Diana
and,
came down with me today.
We even cleaned up the shop. You can't tell, but we did.
Right on. No, it's always a pleasure, bro.
Thanks, man. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. This is Matt at Texas Toast reminding you that if you're so smart, build it yourself, paint it yourself. Life is short. You might as well have a cool guitar.